second session of the third day of the second test between South Africa and Sri Lanka from the Wanderers in Johannesburg. We're just going to do some technical admin here to sync up our streams, myself and Tim. And welcome back, Ravi. I'm seeing the start of a phone ad now. Just started with the phone ad.
I'm there. I'm up with you.
All right, great stuff. Okay, so we're all synced up. We're ready to go. We're waiting for play to start on our feed, although I assume they have already started play. So only 43 runs to get by South Africa, and still 10 wickets to get for Sri Lanka. As my primary school coach used to say, 10 good deliveries, only 10 good deliveries, and you've got the whole team. So, so we'll see. Primary school coach used to say 10 good deliveries, only 10 good deliveries.
Why am I hearing myself in my ear here?
Yeah, why is that echo?
Yes, I got the echo.
Me too. So we're trying to sort that out quickly. I'm just checking. I've got no other windows open here.
Me too. So we're trying to sort that out.
Let's ask for help here.
No other.
Simon, help! Simon, help!
Me too. They're trying to sort that out for help. Yeah.
Simon, help! I think you make the start of it.
I'm still seeing ads here on my side.
Yeah. So it's all good.
So let's see when we can. It looks like the echo is gone. Thank you. No, it's not. It's not.
No,
it's horrible. So let's see
it's still horrible.
Looks like the echo is gone.
Okay, now I'm getting on field finally. Well, some replays.
Okay. Just testing here the audio, and it looks like the echo has been sorted out. Thank you very much for that, Simon, our producer in the background here. And we'll be getting
it was actually hashtag Simon's fault.
Indeed, it was hashtag Simon's fault. So this is the first series that we've done remotely like this. And by the time we get to the end of January and Pakistan hosts South Africa, we'll have all these gremlins sorted out. I'm very excited to see cricket back in Pakistan. I'm hoping that they'll have some fans in, because that's always nice to watch those Pakistan fans going mad in the stands.
This is true.
It's pretty nice.
So I haven't been following the progress of COVID in Pakistan. I'll hold my hands up to that. But if it's anything like in India, then they cannot afford to have fans in the stand.
We'll certainly shift our focus towards Pakistan and their virus situation, their pandemic situation, after this match concludes. And we were talking about Sri Lanka going back home to face England next Wednesday. So that could be tight. They could have even more players out of action.
But England have been in a bubble, and Sri Lanka, in theory, have been in a bubble, even in South Africa. So it should technically be possible. They're trying to fulfill their commitments by the Futures Tour, by the World Test Cricket Championship.
Yes.
And it's good that England is committing to it, and it's good that Sri Lanka is committing to it, but it could be dangerous. You're right.
Yeah, any slip-ups, and then the players will have to adjust to that, and the team will have to adjust to that. So I'm hoping for their sake that it runs smoothly.
Well, we already know
we'll be backing Sri Lanka all the way against England. That's for sure. We'll be supporting the Guerrilla Cricket UK.
I'll be backing.
Oh yes, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
As is your prerogative.
Moeen Ali has already tested positive for COVID.
Yes, I heard about that.
So
okay, here we go. Asito Fernando is ready to go. No, he's aborted his run-up now. And let's see, the umpire is still standing where Asita should be running up and looking back at the pavilion there. And now he comes in, running into Dean Algar. 24 without loss is the score. Over the wicket goes Asita Fernando, wide outside, off stump, and cut by Dean Algar into extra cover for a 4. Nice shot there by Dean, wide and short by Asita Fernando, and 28 for no loss is the score.
As South Africa fans, are you hoping that this session just goes smoothly and easily without any wickets, and by the end of the first hour, South Africa will have got there?
Yes.
Or are you hoping for some drama and excitement?
Asita in again, pull shot played by Dean Algar out to square leg where it's fielded now, and they take a single, 29 without loss. Tim, go ahead.
The former. In particular for Markham, I won't lie, my heart's in my mouth in that last over. That catch, don't catch.
Yeah, I feel the same way as you, Tim. I feel protective about Aidan Markram, and I want him to do well. I don't even know why. I'm not South African, but I feel he should get.
Fernando to Markram, he deflects this neatly out to the covers, and there is a single taken. 30 now without loss.
I just feel that Markham doesn't get the love he deserves.
Yes, as secretary of the unofficial Aidan Markram fan club, AB Mola being the president, I do want to see him succeed. But no dramas, please. Asita Fernando to Algar, and he cuts this, a late cut there, past the diving gully to the boundary for another 4. Now it's 34 without loss. It looked like an intentional shot there. We'll just check where it bounced. A late cut there, just past the left-hand side of gully. That was a good solid shot there by Algar and down into the ground. Let's see here. Oh no, it did catch some air. Might have gone to hand there if it had slightly less contact with the bat. Algar now facing Asita Fernando over the wicket, and this one is out into extra cover for no run. Yes.
See, this Asita Fernando bowling again seems to prove that Hasaranga's 1 over before lunch was just an attempt to change things around. They hadn't meant to replace Asita.
Yes, and it almost worked with Vishwa Fernando bowling the last over and almost getting that wicket.
Yeah, they were just trying to change things around because they brought Asita back on.
And he now aborts his run-up for the last delivery, 34 without loss. 67 is the target, so 33 more runs to get for South Africa. Yeah.
If I'm a frontline bowler in this situation, and you only give me 2 slips as he's got, I'm going to stand at my mark and refuse to bowl. I'm not bowling.
Well,
yeah, I mean, they've got nothing to lose. They've got to go for the wickets. Sita Fernando in now to Algar, and this one is short and looks like attempted pull shot, pulled out of the pull shot, did Algar, and it's through to the keeper for no run. End of the over.
And it does make you bow straighter, though, I guess, if you only have 2 slips instead of 4. And maybe that's the aim for Sri Lanka, to bowl it straight and get the wicket-taking deliveries. Because Markram and Elgar are riding their luck and also their technique, and they're not really fencing outside off stump.
But they're also very good on their legs, so it's a risky tactic.
And maybe that's why he's bowling short, so they can't touch it at all.
Vishwa Fernando round the wicket to Markram. This one pops up into the air where a silly or a short square leg would have been, but there is no run and it falls harmlessly there on the pitch adjacent, 34 without loss, and Vishwa Fernando has a huge smile on his face, and he's enjoying the contest here with Markram. Markram getting up onto his toes, jumping in the air, gets the ball onto the splice of the bat, and the man at shortish square leg just couldn't get there. Around the wicket again to Markram, back foot punch to point for no run.
Markram is getting some stick from Vishwa Fernando, but the problem is South Africa are so far ahead of the game that Sri Lanka are under pressure whatever they do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, damned if you do and damned if you don't. So Vishwa in again to Markram, off his hips there, off his thigh pad, out to deep mid wicket, and it looks like they will take 2 runs, easy 2 runs there, 36 without loss. Markram on to 19 of 26, Algar on 17 of 13, Vishwa Fernando 19 of 3.3 overs.
And they brought in
to focus on the positives, Sri Lanka will have 2 extra days to prepare for England.
Indeed. Yeah. And to fly there as well. Vishwa Fernando around the wicket to Markram, and this one looked like it surprised him with low bounce, as Markram just had to put his bat, bring his bat down to meet the ball out to point, no run.
Yeah, they brought in the short leg. They brought him in so as to take advantage of the ball hitting the splice from Markram. But it might be
just forward of square. Yeah, two pitch widths away from Markram as Vishwa comes in again around the wicket. This one defended on off stump, out to mid off, no run. One more ball to go if in this over for Vishwa Fernando.
Yeah.
Markram is not enjoying this. He's not enjoying the ball coming in at him like this. He's not enjoying it at all.
Josie Boy Pum writes into us saying, "Afternoon all, as this draws to a close, what are you commentating on next?"
Vishwa Fernando into Markram. He plays a beautiful Markram-like cover drive out to the boundary for 40 without loss. That will be, I think there's a women's series coming up, but just watch our Twitter feed.
Yeah, there's the women's series, the women against Pakistan, and then we won't be doing the Pakistan tests, I don't think, because of the women's series, but we'll be doing the ODIs in Pakistan. So that's the idea. At least that's what Simon indicated.
Yes, so we'll have Simon and Mpo just confirm that, and we'll see where we go. Vishwa Asita Fernando continues, and this one is a pull shot played out to mid wicket, and they take an easy single. Algar was facing that delivery, 41 without loss. Things are so up in the air. It's so difficult to plan stuff because you don't know. We might get another speech in the next few days, and then everything gets cancelled again. So apparently there's another cabinet meeting or a task team meeting tomorrow, after which we'll get another update. And with the infection rate here in South Africa is skyrocketing. Asita Fernando over the wicket to Markram, defends this in front of his stumps for no run. So it's a bit difficult to say for sure what's going to happen in the next day, 2 days, week, 2 weeks. I'm not even sure if my kids are going to be attending school in person. So that's
but you've bought the stationery anyway. You've bought the stationery, which is the important thing.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, either way, they'll need pens and stuff. And Asita Fernando in again to Markram, blocked outside off stump, no run. So yes, thank you for the interest, and keep an eye on our Twitter feed and on our website 1wsr.com. We will update as soon as we know. You will know. Let's stick with that. No.
Anyway, Josie also says it could be worse for Sri Lanka. They could be Pakistan in New Zealand.
Oh yes, that's
Pakistan,
brutal.
Yes, are having a torrid time, but have they had any worse?
Yeah, left alone outside off stump, no run. Has
Have they had a
Pakistan
worse
had it?
series than Sri Lanka have had here? They've had just as equally a poor series, haven't they? Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and New Zealand.
I would say Sri Lanka did a little bit better because they didn't have a declaration. You know, they managed to take 10 wickets at least twice already. So,
Oh dear. In
And
fact, how?
oh, Asita
Yeah.
Fernando outside off stump. This one also keeping low, surprising Markram. He jumps in the air and then had to bring his bat down. Feet not moving well here for Markram. 41 without loss. Once again, excellent seam presentation there. Markram tried to play the defensive shot outside off stump and then had to just, you know, sort of lunge downwards with his shoulders to try and block that ball. Asita Fernando in again. This one is defended outside off stump into the covers for no run. End of the over, 41 without loss. Yeah, Markram not looking comfortable at all against Asita Fernando and against Vishwa Fernando in the over before lunch. Yeah.
But the risk of sounding too disparaging, the other thing is, bring up, Pakistan are playing the first 11. Sri Lanka aren't.
True. Yeah, so I'd say Pakistan are having a worse time, hands down.
Well, I mean, when Test series come down to discussing who's been beaten worse and which was the worst Test series, you know that.
Well, it just occurred to me, Pakistan at least are playing in front of a crowd. As Shanaka is now replacing Vishwa Fernando, he's coming around the wicket right-handed to Dean Algar. 2 slips a gully, that one defended to extra cover, no run.
Are they? Do they have spectators in the New Zealand grounds? I don't know.
Oh yes, yes, they backed down to 0 infections as far as I know in New Zealand. My stepsister lives there. Shanaka around the wicket again to Algar, and yeah, my stepsister didn't waste any time reminding us of that when we spoke to her over Christmas. So they're enjoying life and sympathizing with us here being locked down. Although we still don't have at the moment we don't have the worst lockdown in the world. Shanaka around the wicket to Algar, blocked out to mid-off, and there's no run. 41 without loss. Algar on 18 of 17. Markram on 23 of 34.
Yeah. I'm afraid this test match is pretty much dead as a spectacle. We might hope and we might claim that Sri Lanka could take 10 wickets with 10 balls. But frankly, I suspect these two are just going to, through edges and cuts and drives, make it to the 73 that they require. Is it 73?
Now that one by Shanaka to Algar was driven off the inside edge out to the onside for no run. A bit of a false shot there by Dean Algar.
It's 67.
Is the target,
67.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
67 is
Right.
yeah.
Shanaka around the wicket to Algar. This one is played late punch drive down to the point boundary for another 45 without loss. Yep, you're quite right, Ravi. Inevitably fizzling out to the end here. The chances for Sri Lanka running out rather quickly. I think if they'd gotten the Markram wicket, it's still a huge ask to take 10 wickets with only 67 runs on the board. They
Unless you're bowling
have
to India, you wouldn't expect anything, would you?
Shanaka outside off stump and the flash booming drive by Dean Algar misses everything except the fresh air on the Wanderers pitch, and it goes through to the keeper for no run. 45 without loss.
Algar has a golf date, obviously.
Yes, he's getting some swinging practice in there. A huge swing off that last delivery, but he lifted his head up, so he would have played over the ball if that was a golf swing as well, and would have sent it running along the ground or
He would have
something to that effect.
Right.
Yes. And this is Asita Fernando continuing to to Aidan Markram, who leaves it well alone outside off stump through to the keeper for no run.
Yeah. Funny, Elgar's still over a runner ball right now.
Yes, indeed. 22 of 20.
Yeah. Which is quite astonishing. The scoring rates in these matches has been quite phenomenal compared to, let's say, traditional Test cricket. And
This one
they
by
all
Fernando Asita pitches outside off and goes towards first slip, caught by the keeper for no run.
It's as though South Africa, even the openers, Markram and Elgar, have been infected by the Sri Lankans' enthusiasm for getting back on ball. They're determined to score at every opportunity.
Yes, and it's something we've seen in the past couple of years where the scoring rates sometimes just balloon. This one by Markram is driven neatly through extra cover, beats the man standing at extra cover through to the boundary for 4. And the score moves on to 49 without loss.
But that's another example of it. They just hit.
Yeah.
See ball, hit ball.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's one of the reasons I think why they're looking at scheduling tests for 4 days. Bringing in 4-day test matches, because I can't remember the last time we had a 5-day test match go down to the last session. This one off thickish outside edge along the ground to Gully, who deflects it, and it's collected now by I think that's Kusal Mendes, and it's 50 up for South Africa. They take 2 runs, 51 without loss. So only 16 runs to get now. Yes, opportunities for the Sri Lankan bowlers just to get something in the wickets column also disappearing quite quickly. And that one on the second bounce reached Gully, but just deflected out of the hand for the 2 there. Markram on 29, facing Asita Fernando now. Over the wicket, swinging a little bit through the air, but Markram is onto that as it goes out to the point cover boundary for 2 runs, another 2 runs there, 53 without loss.
Craig Nutley writes to us saying this new 3-day cricket is not quite Test cricket, but I'll take it for the moment and blame it on the disruptions of the coronavirus. SA versus SL, Pakistan next. Thanks to Gorilla SA for the commentary on 1WSR.com.
And thank you for listening, Craig. Tell all your mates. Asita Fernando to Markram, and he plays a back foot punch there out to point for a lazy single. That's the end of the over, 54 without loss.
The funny thing is, this is actually not a good, this test match is not a good example of why 4-day cricket would work, because of the exceptional slow over rates. The first hour today was 12 overs, and in 4-day test cricket, you have to bowl 96 in a day. That's not happening. That's not happening. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
My primary objection to 4-day cricket is it's going to put a lot more weariness into the pace bowlers in particular. And we have already so many injuries to pace bowlers. We just kill them if we make them bowl for 4-day tests.
Shanaka goes now to Markram. He plays a back foot punch drive out to cover, and they take a single, 55 without loss.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Yes, go ahead.
The Anruk Nokia of this world is actually a dying breed because of that. Because of the amount of cricket being played, the amount of bowlers that's been
around the wicket, no run. Carry on.
Is it's not something that happens very often. So that's a very good point. I would stick with 5. Stick with 5, and take the fact that the proliferation of T20 cricket is having an effect on Test cricket. That's just one of those things. That's just life.
Yeah.
Shanaka to Algar, and this one moves away off the pitch after it pitched on the line going towards off stump, beat the outside edge. Algar shakes his head or cocks his head to one side as he leans on his bat. He's also not looking comfortable on this wicket. I'm telling you one thing, if this target was 150, we could have had some sparks fly. So Shanaka again. Around the wicket to Algar, and this one is just deflected out into the point cover region. They take a single, and Markram will face 2 balls from Shanaka. 2 balls remaining in the over, 56 without loss. Only 11 runs to get for South Africa.
It's an unfortunate thing, but the approach that teams take just differs. You can't expect them to play this way if they were facing a target of 150, and you wouldn't expect Sri Lanka to bowl this way. If so, that itself psychologically makes such a difference.
Yeah, that one was punched out into mid wicket by Markram, and they take 2 runs, 58 without loss, 9 to win. Yeah, that's true. If the game situation would have changed the way the batters approach it and all the rest. Shanaka outside, off stump to Markram, no run, end of the over.
You notice this in T20 cricket as well. When teams have a smaller target to chase, they tend to bat more slowly.
Yes.
I have noticed that, yeah.
They still lose wickets, funnily enough, but they just pretend as though they're being careful.
No, I think in this test, South Africa had the opportunity to get a 250, 300 lead in the first innings, which they squandered. Hasaranga now into the attack, goes to Algar on leg stump, flicked away by Algar to a backward square leg for a single, 59 without loss. And then Sri Lanka as well, they lost the early wicket, but then Karunaratne got his 100, and if Tiremane or Dikwela could have stuck with him, as Hasaranga goes to Markram, this one is played out to mid wicket for no run. Sri Lanka could have set South Africa. They had enough time in the game. They could have set South Africa 200-300 to chase if they had applied themselves a little bit better. Hasaranga to Markram, squeezed out the covers, no run.
Maybe not 300, but 200 certainly, which would have been a challenging target. Even 150. But
Hasaranga to Markram into extra cover. They don't take a single there. Carry on. Yeah.
But 67 is just not something you're going to waste time on, to be honest. Neither South Africa nor Sri Lanka consider it a challenging target. And they're both
Hasaranga to Markram, they take a single to mid wicket. 60 is the score.
They're showing it in the way they're batting and bowling, aren't they? With Sri Lanka trying everything desperately, and South Africa just taking the runs as they come. They're not bothered.
Hasaranga to Algar, out to the extra cover boundary for a 4. That will take South Africa to 64 without loss. Algar to 28 of 25. Inexplicably, he hasn't been really aggressive, but he has been taking his scoring opportunities.
And
he doesn't like the tag of South Africa's Jeffrey boycott, perhaps.
Yes. At some point, he'll want to shrug that off because he looks rather good in the domestic one-day stuff when he bats there for the Titans. This one to Markram, Shanaka to Markram, is driven into the ground, a little bit cramped for room there, outside half of the bat to mid-off, no run.
Josie Oates says, sounds like Ravi's cat is demanding attention, and stop doing this commentary nonsense. Yeah, she was yowling a bit at me earlier, but I apologize for that.
Shanaka onto the stumps of Markram, defended to mid-off, no run. Yes.
And the lovely Terry Bird says to us, before time runs out, thanks to the commentary teams for an entertaining morning. Thank you, Terry.
No, thanks for listening, everybody. Everybody who's been tweeting in throughout the series, everybody who's been supporting us. Please be sure to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. This one by Shanaka outside of stump to Markram, no run. The team will be putting out some podcasts there about football, about cricket, about all things sport, some NBA thrown in there. So if you're like me and you don't get enough time to watch all the sport, other people do, and they'll be updating you there with everything you need to know. Markram blocks this one into cover for no run.
Yeah. Tim, any last words?
South Africa will be happy with this if they can not lose the wickets. And Markram in particular will be very happy with a 30-yard not out. He will certainly be.
Yeah, solid in behind this is Markram, no run. No, I completely agree. Go for it, Ravi.
I think Sri Lanka have brought Hasaranga on just to sort of do the final rituals because they don't want to waste their pacemen anymore in the fear that they might get injured. Let Hasaranga do it.
Yeah, it's always it's nice to see South Africa win like this, but it's never nice to have a test ending in 3 days. And Simon always says, like, what am I going to do for the next 2.5 days? So we've been robbed of some time watching cricket, but a good victory by South Africa. They'll be happy, and also good to see that as Hasaranga comes into Algar now, he punches this out to the mid-on region where it's fielded, halfway to 2/3 way to the boundary. They take 2 runs. The scores are level. 1 run needed to win. Thank you, Tim. It's been great to virtually meet you and share the mic with you. And Ravi, such a pleasure to have the subcontinent represented here. Hasaranga over the wicket to Dean Algar. He punches that into deep mid-wicket. And that's it. Lungi Ngidi with his arms in the air. The change room is happy. Quinton de Kock is smiling. Both openers end without losing their wickets. South Africa win by 10 wickets. This has been so much fun doing the commentary. Once again, thanks everybody. I'm not sure if one of our producers is going to come in to end this off for us and end the broadcast and such. Yes, let's run through the scorecard there, please. Yeah, can you do that, Ravi?
Yeah, Dean Elgar scored 31 of 27 balls at a strike rate of 114.81. Aidan Markram got 36 of 53 at a strike rate of 67.92. The bowling, there's not much to talk about, really. You've had Shanaka and Hasaranga bowling these last games. Hasaranga is actually gone at 6.86 runs and over. He was there just as fodder, frankly speaking. There's no other way to describe it. He was there just to save the pacemen from having to bowl. And South Africa wind up on 67, no loss, winning by 10 wickets. And this was the inevitable end of the match. It wasn't quite as quick as you thought it would be, Tim. You thought it might end by lunch, but it has ended, well, within 15 minutes of lunch. Well, slightly more than 15 minutes.
30, 35,
yeah. But it was inevitable because, frankly, even though South Africa collapsed at the end of their first innings, the fact was they had a lead, and Sri Lanka's batting has never looked solid enough to construct a reasonable score here. And even though Karunaratne got his century this morning, there was a sense that it was a century in vain. I don't know about you, but that's what my sense was. and these two have proven it.
Yeah,
So
he couldn't get somebody to stay with him.
yeah, I mean, Tirumani and Dikwela tried, but they just weren't good enough against the committed South African bowling, and not necessarily high quality at all times, but it was committed to the plans and the attack lines that they chose. And once they got the right-handers in, it was just a matter of time. They weren't quite sure against the left-handers who formed the Sri Lankan top order, but against the right-handers who were the middle and lower order, it was just a question of bowling your lines and getting your wickets. So it was inevitable, and it happened. That's me saying I don't know when I'll be on, if at all, but it's been fantastic commentating along with you guys. So I'll see you, and I'll leave you now. Thank you.
Cheers, Ravi. Have a good day further. Tim, just tell everybody where they can reach you. I know you're quite the journalist and keeping people up to speed on what's happening in the world of cricket. So give us your handles and your pages and your web addresses there.
You can follow me on Twitter. It's Tim32_cricket. That's pretty much where you'll find all my things. You'll find on my Twitter, my cricket blog on there. It's all my different articles, interviews that I do. And I'll be doing stuff over the next 2 or 3 months in conjunction with the South African cricket summer.
Excellent stuff. Thanks a lot, Tim. Have a good day. Simon is ready to end the broadcast, and we're going to leave you there. Be safe, everybody. Wear a mask. Keep your social distance and all that stuff. And we'll see you back online soon.